Good evening, everybody. Just getting myself set up here. Awesome. I got my cup of coffee. I hadn't finished my tea, but it was already starting to go warm on me, and I knew I'd want something fresh. So it's coffee time. I've drunk enough tea today. I hope everybody had a great day today. I had a wonderful day. It was my niece's baby shower today, and we all went to the Legion and huge. And it was like men and women. Like, I've never known men to go to the baby showers, but yeah, there was just as many guys at that baby shower as there was girls. And it was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was a lot. And they just let me take over. Like when I walk in the door, right? Already I'm digging through bags and I'm decorating and organizing and stuff. And I don't want to step on people's toes, right? But it's my nature just to take over like that. But they were pretty good at it. My sister cranked at me a little bit, right? But yeah, even that was amazing today. Like it was just a really, really, really nice day. A really nice day. And I didn't intend for it to be a treat day, but I didn't have any groceries anyway. So I decided today I would go off my diet because they had these little cream cheese slices and they had like graham crackers and cream cheese and it was all nice and fluffy. My mother used to make a dessert like that. It was I think she called it an upside down pineapple refrigerator cheesecake. It was amazing. I never did get that recipe, but I know it had gelatin in it. I remember distinctly her cooking up the gelatin on the kitchen stove in order to mix it, right? So I guess you should use the blender to mix the gelatin in with whipping cream and cream cheese and stuff, right? And then she'd pour it into a graham cracker shell, right? I guess the shell would be lined with pineapple or something, right? I don't know why I'm talking about upside down pineapple cake. I just ate so much today. I had those little pineapple slices and I went to take a piece. My sister ordered this specialty cake, right? And it looked so fresh and fluffy and with the Boston cream right in the center, right? So I grabbed a piece and I chomped into it, but I spit it into the garbage can because I felt guilty, right? But I did bring some butter tarts home and oh, I must have eaten about a pound of cold cut. I was hungry. I was just starving. I couldn't wait I was so happy that they just said, everybody dig in, right? Just dig in and eat and we'll do the present opening later. I was just all happy for that. I was just at that table so fast, make your head spin. So I hope everybody had a great week. I don't know when my moderators will get here. Usually Andrews gets here right away and then Owen not so late afterwards, right? But I was just talking about the shower like it was my first real function out, right? Because I was going to that Baha'i temple, right? And I was doing that twice a week and that got me out of the house and going for yeah, see? Yeah, Sergeant walked in the door. Yeah. So I hope you had a great day today, Andrew. But I was just talking about, like I don't even know what I was talking. I was just yapping away. I think I'll have a sit. But I was happy. That's what I was talking about. What a nice day I had. I was a little iffy, right? Because the one lady that freaked on me, my good friend who freaked on me a few months back, right? So obviously she's a good friend of the family, right? And she was there, and I knew she would be there, right? So I was nervous, and she's a very outspoken, like very smart, very outspoken woman, and if she's got something on her mind, she's not the type to keep it inside, right? So she held quite a bit of restraint, I think, out of consideration that it was my niece's baby shower, right? But it still didn't make me nervous. Like I said, she is a woman that if she's got something on her mind, she'll let it spew, right? And yeah, I would have just burst into tears if that had happened. But I made sure I had bus fare home just in case I had to just leave, right? And take the bus home because I'm not going to stand around and get emotionally beat up. I'm looking through smudge on my glasses tonight, right? I don't think of these things. Here I am going live and I'm looking for, like, my Windex is right there, but I don't even have paper towels or anything to clean my glasses. So I'm looking at everybody, the comments through the smears. Yeah. I didn't start wearing glasses until I was 27. I did something really, really stupid, I think, and I ruined my eyes. Uh, you know, the optometrist seemed to think that it was an actual prescription just because, but it was just when it happened. Like, I never wore glasses until I was 27 years old. And then all of a sudden I'm in these, these bauble glasses, like these great big thick lenses too, right? And I went into those soon as I got married. I lost all that weight and I was feeling so good about myself, right? I was looking really nice and I had lost all that weight and then I went in because I all of a sudden I couldn't read anymore, right? Like, I look at without my glasses, I look at this and I can see white lines, right? Where the comments are, but I couldn't read the words anymore, right? So I went to the optometrist and they put me in these glasses. And at first I was so excited. Oh, I'm going to look like an intellectual. Because all the time when I was a kid and a teenager, I just wanted glasses. I wanted to feel special in any way, I guess, right? And I guess if I had the glasses, I guess I thought, people might think I was, at very least, I was smart. I don't know what I was thinking, why I wanted glasses so much. But then when I did get my glasses and they were the big, thick ones that make my pupils look like big saucers, I just bawled my eyes out. And I just always hated wearing glasses, and it taught me a lesson. But I thought it was because I was looking. We used to play this game, right? And I was an adult too, a young adult. I was in my 20s, right? And at night we would just go walking in the city, exploring and stuff, me and my friends. And they have these big floodlights that shoot up against the legislative building and highlight the whole legislative building, right? And we used to do this thing, they called it Purple City, where you go and you stand in front of these big floodlights that are supposed to highlight these huge buildings. So you can imagine how bright these lights are. They were probably like this, right? And I would stare at it for about 5 minutes, and then you walk around the city for an hour. And then anything that has light, that has a fluorescent light on it, the light is purple, right? So I think that's what ruined my eyes. I always blamed it on that anyway. But yeah, don't look at the bright lights, That's why they say wear sunglasses when you're outside. Don't stare at the sun. Yeah, and that's exactly almost like what I was doing, right? Was staring at the sun. Yeah, I was just busy writing just all kinds of information, coming at me and everything, like I was watching my video from last week, and I notice I'm doing something for the first time. Well, no, it's not true, because when I did a video in Toronto, I also noticed I did this, right? And it made me curious, but it wasn't looking at my face, so I wasn't quite sure. I thought maybe I might have been, but then when I was doing my live and I looked at my face, I'm channeling. I don't know where I picked that up, right? And I don't know where it comes from, people, right? So make sure you resonate with anything that I say, right? Like don't take anything I say for fact, unless you feel it in the heart, right? Like, if you feel it in the heart, then you can tell that it's probably true for you, right? But yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting, because that really makes me more determined and more confident that I am on the path that I'm supposed to be on, right? But I found it to be very, 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 very curious. And I haven't Googled it or anything. So I know a little bit about it because I watch different, I'm non-denominational. Okay. So like, I don't have a specific religion because I believe in God, but I believe everybody's under the same God. Is just the way they perceive God is for their culture, right? For their own denomination. So, but I want to help people, right? I want to help people that help people. And I cannot be prejudiced, and help this denomination, but not help that denomination. Like, how fair? Like, I don't even know what denomination. That's not to say that I don't have a denomination. I just don't know what it is. Like it either hasn't been revealed, or I haven't discovered it, or I don't know why, but I do know that for now that I'm not supposed to have a denomination is because, and I think it's got to do with that saying that I love so much, right? It takes all kinds to make the world, right? Like I think I'm meant to help. I'm meant to help everybody, right? Like what if one of these other denominations that I follow is my actual denomination? What if I'm a Catholic or a Protestant, or what if I, an Orisha, or because I love the music, I love the beats of the music, like it just, it fills me up, right? And I know I'm on an ancestral journey. So what if I'm I'm a Lemurian, or what are the other ones? Like there's, and all these teachings, there's something that I do resonate with each and every single one of them, right? You know, like so I'm taking a little bit from everything, but because I think from my childhood, and because the fact that, that I have this draw to law of attraction, that I think that's where I'm supposed to base myself, right? Because they help me out so much, right? That I think that I'm probably going to suggest it to a lot if I am out there to help people, you know, um, help themselves, and, help other people, right? Then, yeah. Anyway, that's what's been going on in my head anyway, that I've noticed that I'm channeling. I don't know where it's coming from, people. So you guys, try not to convince me of anything, if you give me that consideration, just for me to be able to discover it on my own, right? Things are really, really moving fast for me, but at the same time, I have to ground, right? Like I desperately need to ground, because if I don't ground, I'm just going to keep learning, right? And I want to do this healthily. Everything I do, I want to do this well, because I'm going to be, like I said, I'm going to be helping other people, right? So it's important for me to be healthy myself. And if that means I need to slow down, then I need to slow down. I'll try not to slow down too slow, and I'm going to help, as I go along. Hi, Andrew. Hi, Owen. Hi, Kathy. Oh, I'm glad everybody's here. Like like I said, I'm trying to figure out what my path is. I know I'm on a spiritual path. That's what I can say. That's what I can say for sure. I know it's ancestral. There's a ton. It makes so much sense looking back now. Like all that money, like that goes back in my family. Like my family had castles and money, and I guess, yeah, like some, like I'm just, A lot of this stuff I'm learning day from day, right? So a lot of it hasn't even been processed, and a lot of it I'm catching it. I'm catching it as it comes, right? So I'm probably not getting the full story too. So forgive me if that's the case. But like I said, I want to do this. I want to do this slowly, right? And I want to do this properly. But like I said, I noticed what I was doing last week. I noticed what I was doing, and that was unintentional, and I didn't realize I was doing that, like I didn't realize. And like I said, I have no idea, like I have no idea where it's coming from, but I would like to discover that on my own. Like I know there's different groups here. I know that there are different denominations watching me, to see where this is going. But if there's anything I can say is that I am certain that I am supposed to be helping everybody, right? Like all denominations. And there is somebody out there that has a problem, and I don't know how to get. Well, I guess I could, right? I could, but then it wouldn't be private, right? But I guess this way, there is somebody that has an issue, and they probably know that it's them that I'm talking about. So I don't know how open you are to this, but I have a friend. It's not a friend. He's somebody I'm following, somebody I'm working with, somebody who's helped me out lots, right? And I was watching something, and I'm positive this will help you if you're open to the idea, and it'd be fairly painless, like fairly painless. I'm sure it would be, but it's called SRT, right? And the gentleman's name is Michael Golzmone. Golzmone. Now, if you go, he has a YouTube channel, right? So if you can go to his channel, and the video actually that will explain what the thing I'm thinking for you. It's called SRT, which is called Spiritual Response Therapy, right? And I think that just might be the answer. I had another solution, right? I had another solution because a friend, his wife was actually talking about a story about how she was doing her dress rehearsal, right? And how she flubbed her words, and she looked back, for the guy that calls out the sentence when you forget your words, right? And she looked back there, and because it was a dress rehearsal, he wasn't going to give her the answer, right? So something that it came to my mind when I was thinking about a solution for this, and I was thinking that that experience is for the soul, right? That whole experience is for that soul. And maybe the reason that happens is because that experience is supposed to be for the soul, that all that time, that heavy nervousness is supposed to be for the soul, right? So before going on to stage, you get yourself into that stage mode, right? You're ready to go. Let's go. And you go into mode, right? What if you went into mode, right? And let your soul have that wonderful experience, that wonderful backstage before it all happens experience, right? Maybe that's why it happens, because it wants that part of the experience too, right? So that was my solution. But Michael too, right? Because that came at a perfect time. That bit of information came at a perfect time. And somebody, in my comments, that could be for you if you had some issues, and you might want to check them out, right? But yeah, those were my two solutions. I help. That's what I'm going to do. And yeah, and I'm feeling good today, right? I did a little bit of grounding today. I did a little bit of healing today with my family. I had a wonderful day today, right? I need to have more of those wonderful days, right? So I need to fix the abundance. I need to bring in that income. I need to get on top of things, right? So I'm going to slack back, I think, a little bit on the videos, because I am learning really fast, right? So, the few hours that I can do in the evening, right, of my studies, um, I think we'll be fine right now, right? Because I do want to slow down, right? I do want to slow down because I know it yeah. That was my dad. My dad started that, right? You know? It's why I'm here right now, you know? And it's not just me. It's not just it's just it's yeah. Yeah, you think I'm something. Yeah, if you think I'm something, yeah. Hmm. And I haven't even started yet. I don't know. This is going to be so much fun. And that's the thing is I want it to be fun. I know I'm supposed to take this whole experience in a childlike fashion. I'm just supposed to love it and have fun and enjoy the experience, right? You know, and I think intuition would have picked up by now, you know, if it was going to happen for me in one direction that I really wanted to go. But I'm good. I'm good. I all I want is what it's supposed to be, right? You know, so yeah, you know, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try and do some grounding, do a little bit of slowing down in that in that fashion, you know. Still keep up on my studies, still keep moving forward, right? But I think I'll always be in negative energy if I don't bring some positive into my life, right? And today felt really good, you know, to get a little bit of positive in my life. And you know, I just want to be around people that want me around, right? You don't want me around, you don't want me around, and I understand, right? Because you know, I should be doing my own thing, but my own thing is going to be in the background. I It's going to be there too. It can't help it. It can't help it, right? Like I know all this is going to go on its own, right? It'll just all happen on its own. But yeah. Okay, so anyway, that's that. I don't know why I got started on that. Oh yeah, I do know why I got started on all of that. You know, sometimes I just open up my mouth, but if I'm going that direction anyway, I would just much rather be every upfront with everybody so that everybody knows, right? Oh, and Kathy, I just want to let you know my Instagram posts, I'm pretty sure that it's you that's collecting it. Every once in a while, you know, a couple of people will collect my post, and it's my favorite. Like, just touches my heart when somebody thinks that my post is so good that they'll hold on to one, right? But I want you to know that those posts that I'm making, that's my deck. That's my tarot, right? You know, you know, I'm gonna pick out my favorites. You know, not all of them, but most of them are from my tarot, right? So my uh yeah, so I'm pretty pleased with that. I'm going to have my own tarot. So I'm pretty excited. And it's been a long time. Like I remember, you know, in my 20s I did tarot, right? You know, it came quite naturally for me. Like I don't even know how I picked it up. I don't Maybe I had a set of cards that had a book or something with it. I don't know how I picked it up, but I remembered I did it for quite a while, and it wasn't too long ago that I got rid of those cards, and I wish that I hadn't, because it's going to cost me almost $100. And people now, like when I watch people who do tarot, you know, they don't just use one deck, they use many decks, right? I don't really need I do the decks to make the person comfortable, right? You know, for some reason it makes them feel comfortable to see that, right? But in truth, I don't think yeah, if I need an answer, like the answer's there. And I've just actually talked to my nephew today, right, about my sister Carolyn, how, you know, it doesn't matter what the question is I have, if the whole world, I ask her the question and she has the answer for me, and she doesn't do anything except sit at her kitchen table, right? And she doesn't do anything, right? And she's not an intellectual either, but she has the answer. And then sometimes I get super excited and I say to her, I say, "Oh, that's so good. Give me a second. I got to write that down. What did you say?" And she goes, "I don't know. I forgot." Yeah. But yeah, I do a lot, right? So I need to slow down, because I know a lot of people, if you do it too fast, because it'll come at me as fast as I want it, like, like it will come to me, right? Because it's been waiting a long time. I'm 58 years old. I'm 58 years old. It's been waiting a long, long time to come forward. So yeah, it's ready to give me all that information, but I have to stay healthy. I have to do this solidly, right? I have to do, yeah. A lot of people are going to have to be able to trust that I'm solid in what I say, right? And I always have to remember to talk from experience, and not to project that I know something that I don't, right? But yeah. But if people ask me questions, if every once in a while you guys want to shoot me an important question, like test me out. Like, that's what I need, you guys to shoot me some and then get my opinions on it, right? Because if I am channeling, like, who's to say what I'm channeling, right? Like, maybe something super, super smart, and yeah, you'll get that answer. I don't know. But I should be practicing. Oh, it feels so good to be able to finally talk about that a little bit. A little bit, keeping it all light, right? Not all the heavy stuff, but like I said, my life is supposed to be fun, right? I'm supposed to be enjoying life. I was never supposed to be, well, it was, right? Because most of it's ancestral, but I didn't know it. But now that I know it, just knowing it takes some of that weight off of me, right? Hi, William. I didn't see you come in. mm, Super Bowl day. Oh, okay. Okay, that's why my sister kept taking all those leftovers. Like, she was just hoarding all the leftovers. There was so much food at this baby shower I went to today, right? So much food. And she was just hoarding it all. And I remembered her mentioning something about the Grey Cup, but Grey Cup? Was it a Grey Cup? Super Bowl. Yeah, Super Bowl. Yeah, so I'm excited to do that, to get, pick up a few decks, but they're expensive, right? And there are more important things for me to get done first. But I know once I'm feeling better, that positive energy, when I'm starting to feel, because you can't build up that self-worth when you're in this state. I have no idea. I think it was just part of the lesson that I was, I somehow I just got stuck in there purposely, because I had to do such a big, what do you call that, 180. And then I only had such a short span in order to, yeah. So I'm pretty certain that it worked out well. I'm pretty certain of that, at the very least, right? How's the sound in here? It's saying that my audio is fairly low. Is the audio at a good sound today? I bought this really, really good coffee today, or the other day. It was really cheap. Like, I only had a few dollars, but the caffeine is not good for me. I got to try and cut back the caffeine, but I don't know what else to drink now. And I've been drinking the tea, but the tea has caffeine in it too, right? So I'm trying to figure out ways of getting some fluid into me without having that caffeine in it. I've been very lucky. Like, I hardly drink any pop at all, like hardly any pop at all. And I did have a ginger ale a couple of weeks ago, like, but I didn't even finish it. But it was because I was so dehydrated. Like, sometimes when I go off on these walks at night, and the walks are not enough, the walks aren't good enough for grounding, right? Like, I need to really touch, I really, really need to touch the nature. So It's a long walk, but I think I'm going to have to go up to the forest, to spend some time, right? I am getting some grounding in a little bit, right? It gives you a little bit going for the walks, but I really need to be with nature every once in a while, especially when I'm doing this heavy duty in depth, like I'm not I'm not even touching the ground. Like I'm just all in my head, right? You know, and I'm doing okay. And I know that has to happen, but at the same time, I can't get into the abundance, and I have to get into the abundance, right? So it's good. I feel good today. I feel good today in that shower, and to be able to talk to some people that are, know what I'm talking about, right? It's all fine and dandy that I learn all this stuff, right? But it doesn't do anybody any good unless you can talk about it, right? And I guess that's what this is what it's all about, right? Is to get this off. So I'm really curious to see where this is all going to take me, right? But for now, non-denominational, no denominations, right? And I have all kinds, right? Like remember, oh, David last week we found out was a Franciscan. I can't even say it. Franciscan monk. Like, isn't that just the coolest thing, right? And then we had somebody who followed like the Lemurian, you know, denominations, right? Like it's really kind of neat. And Catholics and Owen and Andrew, what did not gospel? Gospel? I keep forgetting. Yeah, I try to remember. Maybe William was gospel. I need to drink water. But our water here is full of chlorine. Like you can really taste the chlorine in the water here in Manitoba. And I don't know why, because we have so much good clean water, but I guess they want it to be extra clean. I don't know. But it was one thing I noticed when I moved to Manitoba. I just stopped drinking water because it tasted very bleachy, right? Like in Vancouver, you don't have that flavor in the water, I guess because it comes from the mountains, right? And it filters down the hills and stuff, right? Oh, what a good idea. My sister has one of those machines, Andrew, that actually make pop, right? And she made me a drink with it. She made me a root beer. That's what she did. She made me a root beer with that machine, and it tasted like a root beer too. It was more seltzery. It had more bubble, more fizz in it, right? But yeah, it tasted really good. Oh, evangelica. Yeah, Protestant. I think that's where my family is on both sides, my mom and my dad. I think on my mom's side there's some Aboriginal, I think. I think my mother's mother had some Aboriginal in her, and then lots of Irish and Scottish and English. And because of my eyesight, my optometrist says that I also have Eastern European, which is like Russia, Mongolia, those countries, those Eastern countries, right? Maybe not Chinese. I don't. Well, you never know, right? You never know, right? Because I do believe, like I was just, yeah, I've been here for a long time, I think. Oh, great grandmother who was a spiritualist. Ah, so it's ancestral for you too, Andrew. Oh, Andrew, it's ancestral. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, because a lot of this stuff stays in our genes, right? It passes on. I think that's what my problem is in asking, right? Because in my family, like we have our family tree, it goes all the way back to the 14th century. Like we can track all the Marriotts, right? All the way back to the 14th century, and they were all hierarchy and aristocrats and yeah, they married cousins and brothers and stuff to each other like that. They like to keep the money in the land and in the family, like lots of land, lots of estates and stuff. And yeah, so it explains a lot of that too. Lots of intellectuals, lots of bishops. Now I don't know what denominate if all denominations have bishops, right? Catholics and Protestants, I don't know, but we have lots of bishops in our family ancestry, and the middle name Theophilus, which means friend of God, right? And we have I've been trying to talk my niece into it to giving the baby and she's having a little girl, right? But that still doesn't stop me from trying to get her to give the baby the middle name of Theophilus, right? It's a beautiful name too, but yeah, I'm just happy that because my dad had all girls, he never had any boys to carry on his name, right? But my sister had a baby when she wasn't married, and so I've got my nephew, and yeah, so he carries our name. So we were so very very lucky that way. So I'm pleased that way at the very least. So I don't care so much about the middle name not carrying on. And you never know, he might have a son, right? And he might decide to give his son his middle name. Yeah. So when those kind of things go against your religious beliefs, though, Andrew, the thing is, you end up fighting that other part, right? And then you end up emotionally not feeling good because you have those two things, right? Yeah. But yeah, I would just accept the other part is there and just ignore it, right? But just accept it as part of you, right? But yeah, ooh, yeah. Yeah, I don't think I would want that job. That would be a hard job, to have to talk to people that have passed on. That would have to be a hard job, right? And there are people who do that, right? There are people who do that. So but what was that I was just saying? Oh, there was a great saying I just came across. Well, I came across it before and I wrote it down in my book, right? But I just came across it the other day. I'll have to remember it next Sunday. I'll make this quote. Maybe I'll actually make the whole night on this topic. And I think I just dished out a whole pile full of information there. I just spewed all that out because I guess I was kind of feeling good, right? And also I've come to understand, right? What I meant to do and why I have an interest in certain things, right? Like, and I've said right from the beginning, and I guess this is why I got a little bit mixed up, right? Because I've been following my heart. I've been following things that I resonate with, right? The things that pull me, right? And that doesn't mean that these things are going to pull me all the time. Like your interests change all the time, and they should change, right? They should be different all the time because change is good, right? Things go bad when you refuse to make changes, like even the littlest changes, like rearranging your closet, cleaning out the drawers, doing spring cleaning, doing things like that, right? Just making changes like that, even changes in your exercise routine. And if you have a routine and you're not somebody who likes change, right? Why not just change the timings on your routine instead? And that way it won't freak you out so bad that you're changing your routine. Because I know, especially like me, somebody mentioned to me sometime that I don't like my things moved, right? And I put things, that might not be tidy, right? It might not always be, well, I guess it's tidy. It's tidy, right? but I have I'm very eclectic, right? But everything has its place, right? Because I want to know when it pops into my head and I need something, all I wanted to do is say, if I needed this, where would I look? Right? And it should be there. Everything I have, right? And if I was in need of it and it wasn't around, I should be able to say, if I needed this, where would I go to get it? And it should be in that spot. And that's how I rearrange everything. My closets, my kitchen drawers, my paperwork, right? My tools, my crafting stuff, my tape, everything, right? It makes life so easy, right? When you do it like that. It's just a matter of finding little bit of tricks, right? You know, I tend to lose things quite often. I lost a $10 bill, like my last $10 bill. I lost it last week, right? And I just, it was 40 below zero, and I'm taking off my clothes and searching all the pockets. I left it in the store. I didn't take my change, right? I'm pretty certain that's what I did, but you know, you have to, but it's only $10, but you know, you still don't like to lose money. And that's what happens to me. Like I kind of go, oh, where do I put this? Right. So at least in my house, I know where everything is. So if I need it, I could just go bang, there it is. And yeah, I just like to know where all my stuff is. But it has been pointed out to me that I'm very like the dog with the bone. Rah, rah, rah. Stay away from that as mine, right? A rut and a groove. And what is that, Andrew? I want to know what that was. A rut is when you get into a rut is where you're in like a trench and there's no way of getting out. You're just down there, right? And then a groove, a groove is when things start flowing, where you're actually in the same maybe trough, but maybe there's some water pushing you along, or maybe the water's rising and it brings you to the surface, so you can just crawl out of the the rut. I don't know. Yeah, I remember you saying, William, that your mother was a pastor of a church. That's a highly respected profession, isn't it? Did she get paid? Should she get paid for that? I guess she would get some kind of wage, wouldn't she? I hear you, Andrew, on that one. Yeah. Yeah. With me, 3 minutes is too long for me. Yeah. Arm's length. I want it. I want to know exactly where it is. Just walk right to it. Oh, okay. I got you on that one, Andrew. Interesting. I'm just going to be looking back at this one. Hi, Daryl. Like number 6. Like, thank you. That was nice of you. And I guess actually I should say, if you pop in, give me a thumbs up, because maybe YouTube will suggest it out, and then somebody who actually needs to pop in and meet the crew, right? We have an awesome crew here on Sunday nights. We go live at 7:30 Central Time every Sunday evening, and I usually ramble away and they ramble away, and every once in a while I'll go into the comments and pick out on something, and then we'll ramble away on it a little bit, right? But usually what I'm doing is just giving out, little tidbits of information and stuff that I come across during the course of the week, or I'm boo-hooing about something, but I haven't been doing that in a while, right? Yeah, I just need to better manage myself and yeah, so as soon as I get off here, oh, I still have my Instagram post, so I don't have to do it. I'm looking forward to do it. I don't know what the topic will be. I think something light and airy, I think tonight, because I had such a nice day at the baby shower. Like I was, like I said, a little bit nervous going there, right? A lot of people, but it was so much fun. I just kept myself busy and helped and decorated, and everybody just let me do my thing, right? And yeah, and it was beautiful. I just sent my sister all the pictures, because I also, of course, I took all the video and the pictures and stuff too, right? So I just sent it all to her so she could check it out. And I took a lot of nice. Oh yeah, she just sent me a text saying thanks for the pictures. So I'm glad she liked those pictures, right? But yeah, so I don't know what else. What about else? I got all kinds of notes here. I could just talk about so much of this stuff here, like notes, notes, and for the past couple of days, I've had some really big ones, right? But yeah, right now I'm in the love right now. I'm learning a lot about well, like there's been a lot of love in my life, right? Like me and my dad had a great love, right? And me and my husband had a great love, and me and my sister Tracy and my sister Carolyn, like all my sisters, right? Great love for my like I have known great love, right? I have known some poop stuff, but everybody does, right? So I'm learning it all, and yeah, I'm staying open to all of this, because I know love plays a big part of what I'm doing, right? It was my love for life that got me to this point, right? If I didn't love life so much, and I didn't offer up a fresh experience for the world, then this might not have happened, right? So yeah, so I want to expand on that. I want to be open up, right? It's going to be a big part of what I do is it's got to be love, right? But what else do I got going on here? Aw, saying aw. Saying nice things about myself. Sometimes I do these little mantras, these these and I just say them, these little nice things about myself, and sometimes I write them down, right, to reinforce them. And I actually have a sheet that I like to read out too, just to help reinforce, right? you know this is my big reinforce when I come on Sunday nights. Like I don't even prep or anything either. I just come on and just yap about what's been going on with the week, and I just trust that the conversation in the comments is going to lead whatever topics I'm going to talk. And yeah, and if I'm doing this anyway, right, I might as well just let them just get that information out to you guys that some of you might need at that point, right? So um Oh, okay. Yeah, this is important. That I don't actually. I think I mentioned this at the beginning, right? But I think it's important for me to really really stress this, right? Because I noticed that there are different denominations, that are coming to my channel, and I guess they sense that there's a spirituality, religious thing going on. And like I said, I don't know what it is, but I remember I wrote this down. I wrote, unless I announce differently, right? Please consider me non-denominational, right? Because that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. That just means that it's not happening now. And I want to discover this. I want to discover this on my own, right? Like I discovered law of attraction on my own. Like it just well, it didn't really happen because I studied alongside my dad, right? But I forgot it. Like that is something that will disappear if you don't practice. That will just disappear completely from your mind, right? And it came back, right? And it came back at the most opportune time. and it was definitely meant to happen that way. And it makes me happy too, because now I'm doing this journey, and I feel like I'm doing it with my dad too, because it was my dad waking up that made it, so that it's happening to the rest of his family, right? So I'm confident. I'm confident too. Like, I don't know what's leading it, but like I said, I'm following this, right? I've been following this pole in everything, like right from when I discovered, like I stuck with it, right? And in my studies too, I understand I am codependent. Like, seriously, in all my relationships, I am seriously codependent, and I will turn myself into a workhorse for others, right? Without even taking myself into consideration, right? And because I'm very empathic, right? That the way I interact is I interact in the manner of the person that I'm interacting with, if that makes any sense. So, like, if me and you were to meet, right? Even though we are so different, I would still be able to relate to you. That's just the type of I'm like a chameleon. That's the word I'm looking for, right? So I'm like a chameleon, and it happens naturally without me even noticing it happening, right? So it's easy for me to lose who I am, to lose what I want. So it's really, really important that I take myself under consideration. So now I've decided I'm doing a little bit of an experience, because people think that I'm too tied up in other aspects of my life, right? That the other aspects of my life have more control over me, right? But I think um, I need to maybe pull away a little bit, just to see if I just get pulled back that way, right? I want to work on this codependency. I've been doing so really good. I've been trying to be selfish, and there are very, very selfish aspects of me. Like, there are aspects, like I don't give when I need that time to be alone. Like, I need that time to be alone. I mean, I don't care if it's scheduled, I don't care, right? But I need that time at least once a week to just be able to just go off by myself, right? Like, I like to be by myself. Yeah. And I guess that's where the thinking part comes, right? But I even like to be by myself when I go shopping. I like to, be by myself when I go exploring, or when I go sightseeing, or when I go to the parks, right? Like, I like to have that alone time, right? I think it's a way for me. Well, I know it's all heady when I do it, but to me, it feels like I'm grounding when I do that. But I guess it's my safe zone, right? Inside my head is where I feel safe is inside my head, right? You know. And for most people, it's the opposite, right? But I like it feels safe for me there, and it's interesting, right? And then when you can mix it with when you go out in nature, right? And then you pull it in with the nature. Oh my gosh. It's like heaven. It's like heaven, right? Oh, I know what I was going to ask everybody today, if they could do one thing, right? I did a post last week. I don't know if anybody over there follows me on Instagram, right? But uh what was I going to say about that? I lost my. Oh, yes, I know what I was going to say. I was going to say, these next couple of generations that are coming up, right? The kids are going to have such a rough time, right? Because adults are really trying to find a balance right now of spending family time and work, and single parenting, and yeah, the issues, the bad influences, at school, the kids, it's going to be a hard time for these kids. And, I was thinking, like we've all got neighbors. I know I've got neighbors, right? And you could be kind if the kids you see the kid needs a smile, or you think that maybe they're not getting, proper influence, at home, or kindnesses at home, right? Like if you could just do something or say something to them to let them know that things get better, right? To give them a little bit of hope. I was just thinking in my post, right? That there were a few people in my life that gave me insight and gave me hope that things were going to be, good, that there was opportunities out there to make good lives and stuff like that. But sometimes, the children grow up and they think that life is hopeless, like there's not going to be any good out there, right? For them, for their whole lives, that life is just going to be miserable forever, right? And I just thought, if you happen on to a little kid that needs something, maybe I know they don't take candy from strangers or something like that, but if you see somebody that's sitting alone, or you could just walk by and give them a rub on the head or something, just to say, hey, good kid, right? Just a little bit of attention to make a little kid feel special, right? Like life isn't just total misery. Oh, I'm so pleased with that Prairie Dodgers up across the top, that it's straight. And it took me 1 second today. Sometimes I just fluke out that way, and I just turn the cam. I don't keep the camera on me. I always think that, it's still watching me even when I don't have it on. So I always take the camera off and I put it upside down and stuff, so that I don't. But yeah, that's what I was thinking. If we could do, if each of us could do something kind to somebody that doesn't normally get kindnesses. We all know who those kids are, because we always say, oh, look at them, like even today, at the baby shower, the kids were so excited because with the leftovers, we had big bags of popcorn and stuff, right? And we were just, here, take this home. The kids' eyes would like just bulge out, just to make their day specials, right? Because for them it was a special outing too, because they get to play with other little kids, and they get to have their pretty little dresses on and stuff, right? So it's an outing for them. So, for them to go home and, to really feel like they had a special day, like it's important, right? I was very lucky that I had a dad that knew how important it was to have adventures, right? Like every week, if my dad was in the city, if my dad was home, every week we did adventures. My mother worked hard, right? My mother worked in housekeeping in hospitals, right? So she did long hours, and she had arthritis and stuff too. So she was always in a lot of pain, right? So she did fun things with us too. She did, she would do fun things, but yeah, it was mostly my dad, right? That would think up these great adventures and take us on these great adventures. Yeah, and I guess it's hard for men, right? Because you have to, yeah, like people are so off, like I remember just going off and talking to strangers. My mother was kind of funny that way. Like my mother got herself in a situation. Well, she didn't get herself in a situation. The situation just happened. But my mother was very nervous about us girls being around men and stuff like that. So she had very strict rules. And I remember, at 4 and 5 years old, getting the facts of life. My mother told us the facts of life. She would sit us down like twice a year, just like my dad would give us those talks about death. My mother would sit us down like twice a year, and she'd have that, the sex talk, and, watch out for men, and, like, so we did get those talks. My mother was very worried because, well, of course, my mom had 4 girls, right? So she had to be careful. And there were creeps out there, because I know a creep got a hold of one of my sisters, right? And I remember the police being around and everything when that happened. Yeah. So I don't remember it, but I remember that it happened. But yeah, I was just thinking, if some little kid, that's I don't know. I know I'm going to try and do something for somebody this week that it would make me feel good, because I'm just thinking of that kid at my age, what they would have appreciated. While with me, all you had to do was buy me a bottle of pop or a bag of potato chips, and I was happy, right? Yeah. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, I just don't want, no, I just wrote here, like, it's very important for me not to be fragile, in my relationships. Like, I'm pretty set. Once I get an idea in my head, it's set. And once I've said it, I commit to it, right? I don't always commit to anything, but once I've said it and once I've committed, like, I'm not going to back down. So that makes me feel good then, that the way I started my live tonight, right? Because I've actually just put it out there already what my plan is, right? I still, because I know, right? Like, I know the light and the darkness thing. I understand that part. I know it's going to happen anyway, right? But maybe I'm positive, like I'm helping those who are helping others, right? And there are some important people out there doing lots of good work, that are taking care of the world and taking care of the people in the world, and trying to better it even, right? So if I can learn my part, right? And I think what I'm learning now will help a lot of people, right? And a lot of it is natural. A lot of it, like, I'm studying it and I'm just going, yeah, I knew that, that's how I felt, and that's the way I was already living that way, right? But it's reinforcement. Every time something that I know or something that I feel is reinforced, right, then that boosts my self-worth, that boosts my self-confidence, right? So I get a little bit better and a little bit, more confident to give that information, right? Like, I want to make sure whatever I put out there, it's going to resonate with people, right? And yeah. I know my urban exploration videos resonated a whole lot more, but you know what? This is going to help a lot of people. If I can get this figured out, this is going to, you know, yeah, this is going to help a lot of people. But like I said, I've got gaps, right? I've got gaps, and yeah, I want to try and fill those gaps up myself, right? Learn those things, and just fill those gaps myself, instead of looking for other people to fill those gaps for me, right? It was the courage. I saw the courage, right? I saw that willingness to do the scary, and that scary for me is the ask, and that was just like one of the easiest things for you, and I just thought that filled gap. Yeah, but yeah. uh, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, and like I said, like, this is, I want to do this right? No matter what, this has got to be right, because I'm going to be working in relationships, right? So all my relationships have to be good. They have to be strong, and they have to be, yeah, because I have to represent, strong relationships, and it's going to be a part of my brand, right? It's going to be part of my brand. So yeah, I got to represent well. Like, even if I don't understand it, I know where it's going, right? So I need to set that standard right off the hop, right? So to be of value for someone, somehow must learn by it. I've had more experience than you, and for that experience to be of value to someone, somehow must learn by it. Exactly, Andrew. Exactly. And that's why my studies are so important. Like, a lot of it is experience, right? I would say probably 60 or 70% of it is experience that I'm doing right now, right? But I'm studying too, so and a lot of it is, like I said, it's coming natural to me. And I wasn't going to do the tarot, but I'm looking at my Instagram posts and it's obvious my Instagram posts are tarot. Like, yeah, so I'm gonna put a deck together. It's gonna be a beautiful, beautiful deck with beautiful insight, right? Because I channeled those too, right? I probably channeled 80%, maybe 10%, I was tired and maybe got a little bit channeled, but, kind of did the rest out of it, just out of my instinct part, that comes naturally to me, right? But yeah, those are important messages. And it came to me, I woke up and it was actually this morning, actually, when I woke up, and it was the first thought, and that first thought is always important. It's always important. So my first thought was, oh my gosh, Cindy, because I like, the past couple of nights, right? I had kind of like a writer's block because it was my own fault, right? Because I was saying my Instagram posts that I was getting a little bored, right? Because they were getting to be easy for me, right? Doing those posts, right? So and I think because it got easy, because I started going from the thoughts that I was having or the studies that I was doing that day. So it came out pretty easy, or maybe it was just like, it came out really fast. But I wasn't finding them fun, right? So I was still finding them fun, but the challenge, I didn't find them challenging, right? And I do need those challenges. I do need to be challenged, right? So it was on my mind last night when I went to bed, because I stayed up late last night again to get my post out and everything, right? And that was because I was saying that I want to try something else, and then it purposely gave me a block so that I would have to work to get it out. And at the very end, I did the post in like 3 minutes, but I spent hours, like, what's my topic? And then I would get my topic, and then I would go and I would do my thing, and then I would lose it, and I would put it away. And then right at the very end, just like, oh, that's my topic, blah, 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 blah. And, then a few minutes it was done, and I actually got compliments on it. So I thought, like, yeah, it was a lesson, right? It was a lesson, right? Not, that I should be grateful for actually to be able to do that, right? And I should be grateful, and I am thankful that I'm able to write like that, and to be able to get those compliments, and it warms my heart when somebody says that they love my writing, right? Like, who knew? Where did that come from, right? Like, yeah. Curious. I'm curious. Yeah, you've been saying that's like 2 weeks in a row, and that you've been busy. What keeps you so busy? Like taking care of your mom? Is that what takes so much time? Like you don't have time for yourself to work on your radios or anything? I went to this baby shower today, and at the end, there was so much cold cuts, ham and turkey and salami. So I just took like a freezer bag, and my sister filled it up for me. And I got a ton of cold cuts in the fridge. And then I got this great big container of margarine, right? And I haven't had margarine. I bought a little container of margarine for when Sharon came up to visit me from California. And that container lasted well over a month, right? So I haven't been using the margarine, but lately I have been using margarine because Cindy's been baking bread. So my first promise to myself, what do I got here? Will you take 10? No. I've got a few things, and I'm so poor, and I know I'm going to downsize, right? So I've been getting rid of a lot of my things, right? So yeah, somebody's lowballing me, and if you think you're going to take me for a ride, that ain't going to happen. So the answer is no, but a sorry. You always gotta be polite, right? Yeah. Yeah. But, and then usually what happens is they go, oh, well, yeah, no problem. I'll be by in an hour to pick it up, right? So I'm not worried. I'm not worried about it. Oh, I keep saying that. I worry about so much. And it's always financial. I don't worry about anything unless it's financial. I don't worry about I worry a little bit about my sister's health. I do worry a lot about my sister's health, and I worry about our relationship and stuff. But I think a lot of that wouldn't happen, right, if I worked on that abundance. So like I said, I'm just going to draw back a little bit, right, and we're going to do these little tests to see if I'm still being in the directions that I'm supposed to be going in. And if not, like I said, I only want what I'm supposed to be doing and where I'm supposed to be going. So if it's not meant to be that way, then we will go that way, right? And you always know, because things always go better, right? Things will. It's just that because I was in this learning stage, it's going to be crap anyway, right? Like everything is just going to be a total mess anyway. But I think I'm at the stage right now where I'm supposed to be feeling good, right? So if I'm not feeling good, and if things are not going my way, and if the obstacles are still there, those obstacles are there to say, Cindy, you're going in the wrong direction. Do not just plow right through A and skip B, C, D, E and just go straight to the end, right? Like yeah, that's not good. So yeah, it's to go around and find, because it's the shortest route, right? The shortest route I want. I'm 58 years old. I'm done with the long routes. Aww. And I've had very abundant times in my life. There have been times that I've made quite a bit of money. Like when I was working at the bar, like I was making $4,000 a week. No, a week. I was making at least $2,000 a week just in tips, right? So yeah, I was probably bringing in about $5,000 a month. But at the same time, I was picking up positions too, because I was bartending on base too. I didn't just work at the bar. I was doing socials and functions on base too. So I was making a lot of money, and my husband was making a lot of money too at that time, right? But there were also times when I was making good money, like cooking, when I was doing shorter cooking. I can't do it now, right? My wrist can't take that. You get older, right? And flipping dishes in the window, cooking and flip a dish, cooking, flip a dish, like doing that repetitive. I can't do that. I'll try to go back to doing that a few years ago, and yeah, my wrist lasted about a month, and I ended up in a cast, right, from that repetitive movement like that. Yeah. And then what do? I go hang construction garments, right? After that, and that killed me. I'll never forget my first week at that job. And I did such a good job. I put everything I had into it. I put all my best attitude into it. I put all my energy into it. I was on time every day, you know. Yeah. And yeah, I still didn't get the position. And I never asked why, at the end of the contract. Why? Because I don't ask, like I said, I don't ask questions for myself. Like I never think for myself that way, right? So I should have asked why they decided not to go with me, because it couldn't have been a numbers thing, right? It couldn't have been, because you could see clearly that I was getting there. Like you could, like even I could see that I was like I was like 50 garments away or something towards the end, right? Like I was getting really, really close. So I'm sure they saw that too. So it had to have been for another reason. But what does it matter, right? In the end, you can't look at the past, because it'll just, get your brain going like that. But I should have asked in that moment. I should have asked, because that might have been some good information for me to carry into my next position, right? Yeah, I don't know. I would like to do marketing, but the thing is, I gotta be with I gotta be with people I want to be with, right? Like I gotta be with, like, see, and that's the thing, I take these jobs, and you go in with a great attitude, and you can really slay an interview, right? You can come into, because bosses are trained, it's embedded in them to be social, and like I do really, really well in interviews, and main bosses usually always love me, because you're putting the roof over my head, so you get everything, right? But once you're in, then you see what you have to work with, right? And sometimes you get those people that their souls don't rub with you well enough, and it doesn't matter. You either have to become a phony person, right, and pretend that you're nice, and pretend that you like them, and pretend that that, or you pretend that you think they like you, right? Even though they don't like you. And, yeah. So that's the hard part for me, adjusting that way, right? And quite often, because I stick up for myself, right? Like I don't, there's a certain values that I have for myself, right? Like I respect people, right? So I expect people to respect me too, right? And you treat me badly like that, right? And sometimes because I'm sticking up for myself, I'll call you on it, right? Like, why are you talking to me like that, right? Like, and once I do that, then that person could be able to take that personally, right? We'll take that personally, because I called them on that, because I saw right through it, right? And because they know I see right through it, then that's when the problems start, right? Because obviously you don't want somebody around that's going to be able to see that you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, right? There was nothing worse that I hated than a free paycheck. I used to call people like that, slackers, and they would come in and they wouldn't do anything, like, and they would collect the same wage as me, and I would be doing all the work, and I would call these people free paychecks, right? The kids these days, right? They're looking for the free paychecks, because, the parents are making them pay for their own cell phones and stuff, right? And cell phones are not cheap, right? They have to get that money somewhere. So yeah, I'm going off about something else anyway. I was just taking a look at the comments. I'm just yabbering off about so much stuff. I guess I had a lot on my chest, right? There was a lot of stuff that I've been wanting to talk about, but wasn't quite sure yet, right? It wasn't a matter of being brave, because I'm brave. Brave is not the only thing that I don't like to do is I don't like to ask. Don't ask me to ask. Asking for myself is not something that, which is, I remember I was going back into that conversation. I think the reason I don't ask, it's ancestral. I think because of all those religious people, in my past, right? There's a lot of bishops and a lot of tight religious families and stuff that I think there could be like vows of poverty and stuff like that going on in my mindset, that like residue, right? And if there's strong opinions there, and too contradicting, like I had an ancestor that, because I have lots of rich ancestors, like there's lots of them, right? Like, my grandfather He came to Canada in the late 1800s, right? And my grandfather owned the entire delta in BC. The entire delta, he owned it, okay? That was all at that time when my grandfather owned that land, it was all swamp. Now delta is a city in itself, right? But I remember, my mother saying that my grandfather sold delta, big amount of his land. He sold it to Boeing, and he sold it to Dairyland, or like a milk company, that for like pasturing, and for barns and stuff for the cows, right? So, but now the Delta is the city, so I'm sure it's not like, Dairyland's not there anymore. But yeah, but my dad ended up getting disowned by his family in England, right? Because he married without permission, and he decided to stay in Canada. He wanted to be his own man, right? So his parents gave him a chunk of money and said, that's all you're getting, and we're done with you, right? So when my grandfather passed away, the money went to his sons. My mother had two brothers, and the money went to the two brothers. And then the brothers, at that point, my grandmother had diabetes and was blind, and she was missing her legs, right? So they took care of my mother. So that took up all took care of my grandmother, and that took up all the money. And I think my mother, because she was a female, I guess it was the common even in the 60s, right? Or the 50s and 60s when he passed away. He was already gone by the time I was born. So he probably passed away in the 40s or the 50s, or probably the 50s, right? But yeah, my mother only got $20,000 from that, and they were like millionaires. But I did have a great aunt, right, that kept all her money. She was a lady in waiting to a lady, and when the lady passed away, she got the manor and all the land, and she got all the artwork. And because she was a Canadian, but she had citizenship in both countries, right? But when she wanted to come and retire here, she lived in BC, and when she came to retire here, they wouldn't let her bring the art because they were considered treasures of the crown or something like that, right? So she wasn't able to bring the art, like the famous paintings and stuff that she had, right? But she actually had a manor, right? She inherited a manor, and yeah, she lived well into her 90s. Auntie Dot, that was her name. She wasn't really my aunt. I think she was my mother's aunt, right? Oh, yeah, respecting your elders is something, right? Like I'm very much a person that respect is earned, right? So I don't care about your age, right? Because I have met people, elderly, who are just terrible, not nice people, right? That don't treat people, they don't mean to, right? They don't know what they're doing. They're just so set in their ways, and they treat people badly, right? But they're not going to get my respect because they're older. Like, I'm a true believer that respect should be earned, right? But yeah, Andrew, you don't have a problem there, because yeah, I respect you, Andrew. So you definitely deserve to somebody didn't treat you well. But it's important that you garner the respect, right? Because a lot of us, we don't respect ourselves, right? And then what we do is we let these people disrespect us. And every time somebody disrespects you and treats you bad, and you allow it to happen, you hurt your self-worth, you hurt your self-esteem, and it brings you to the point where you think that way about yourself, right? So it's important, like, if you don't have friends and family around you all the time, that you're able to, at the very least, stick up for yourself, right? And it's gotten me, like, it's gotten me respect, right? And I don't do it often, right? It's not something that needs to be done all the time, right? But when you need to stick up for yourself, you need to stick up for yourself. Only you know what your values are, right? Like, you know what's important to you. You know what you need to feel good about yourself, and you know what you'll put up from other people and what you won't put up with other people. And it could be totally off the wall. Like I said at the beginning of my live today, that, one of my friends once told me that, that I'm very, and she knew me very well, right? And I could see it when she said it. Like, I could see me being that person that I don't like my stuff moved around. Like, I know where everything is, even though it looks eclectic, right? Like, everything, like, see what I just did? Like, that's exactly what I do, because I know that's up like that. No, that's not the way my lampshade go. My lampshade goes like this. I love my lawyer's lamp. I love my lawyer's lamp. It's an original one too. Like, if you could see the cord with the old plug and everything, I'm so pleased that I got it. I got it for like $5 at the Salvation Army, right? And I went in there and I saw it, and that's mine. And when I saw it was $5, right? And I know I could sell that for $100. I know I could get, oh, excuse me. I know I could get $100 for that. But I love that. That lamp will be with me for my whole life, unlike some of my other things. Selling them off. I can't believe somebody was just going to lowball me like that by 50%, like getting rid of all my stuff like super cheap. And then they just want to like cut it in half on top of that. Silly. It's all good. But like I said, I've got to hold my ground on that, right? Oh, here I am, all live, looking at myself all live on my channel here. That's pretty cool. Might as well just leave that there. I don't want to get in trouble for stealing a view. I don't do that. My views are honest views, right? I know my lives, they usually get about 30 views. People pop in and out during the course of my live, right? And then usually what will happen is I'll get another 50 or 60 when people can come in and watch it at their own pace, right? Yeah. But, when you do pop in, it sure would be nice if you would, give me a little bit of a thumbs up, right? Because Google will, send my video out to other people that might need it if they see that it's worth taking a look at. Hey, I don't know if it's always worth taking a look at it, but yeah, if they thought it was good, right? Then they would push it out a little bit more. So if you pop in and you happen to watch my video later, it would be nice. Thumbs up. That would be nice. Yeah, and it's not like I cherish these things that I have. Well, I do love things because everything I has a nice story to it, right? But I have no problems parting with it. My problem is moving my stuff. My stuff has a certain way, like, there's my pig, it sits here in front of here, my candle and my toys and I'm learning numerology, right? So these are my basic numbers here, right? And their meanings, right? So when I catch my numbers and stuff, and so that I know where I could put my little mantras out there and stuff like that, right? All towards my numerology. I was never interested in numerology, but I'm resonating with it a little bit, right? So I've got to try that out. I'm also resonating with my Reiki, but I haven't been studying. I haven't studied my Reiki in like 2 weeks, right? So but these are things I could set in a schedule. So once I get my job, right, and I know my schedule, then I can start doing my schedule. Like, I really want to get on my calendar, right? So if I could get that job right away, and then I could be able to schedule my job rather than scheduling the job hunting, right? Because I wouldn't be able to stay on a calendar right now, not with interviews and job hunting and yeah. Not making excuses. It's happening this week. I guarantee. Let's hope. Let's call it for next Sunday that I'm going to have good news for everybody next Sunday. Like let's call that now. Yeah, I'm going to make it happen because I'm positive I got the Willy Wonka golden ticket in my chocolate bar. I know I did. Yeah. I do a little bit of the vision stuff too, right? And I do a little bit. I know there's a lot of potential. Like I know a lot of it, what I do is just potential, but there is stuff there that is not potential. There is stuff that I've called something in particular. I called it back in October. Like I called it back and how could I have called it? Like I have no idea how I could have called it, right? But I did, and exactly and it wasn't that I didn't arrange it to happen. It just kind of happened that way. But in any case, I'm not even going to talk about that because just talking about it just makes me wonder if it was my fault too. But yeah, well, that's all that. What time? We're at 9:00. Holy cow! Did that hour and a half just ever go fast tonight? It went so fast, and I just missed so many of the comments. I just was yabbering away so much. I just want to move this over here a little bit, and I just want to backtrack a little bit. I haven't done my post, so it's not like I can go back over my live tonight, right? But because by the time I get my Instagram post done for tonight, it's going to be time for bed. But I just wanted everybody to know that yeah, you're gonna start seeing some good changes. I feel it right now. Like I feel it so strongly. And just for the fact of the way I opened up, I'm just so proud of myself that I just let all that spew. It's out there now and it didn't kill me. There might be a little bit of flack here and there, but I'm there. I said it. I've committed, and I had already committed. But I wasn't being vocal about it, right? I was just so stressed that I had to go a certain route and I had to, do certain things in order for things to move a certain way. But, I deep in my heart, I know it's not the right time. And I think I'm doing right by doing it this way. And I just have to trust that I know, right? Got to do it the way that I feel, the way I resonate with it. But good on you, Andrew. I mean, yeah, there's no reason to be rude. Like you don't want to get yourself in a situation unless you really have to get yourself in a situation. But at the same time, if you have to speak to somebody about something, you just put it in a way. I mean, even a supervisor has a supervisor, right? So you just let them know, like, do we have a problem here, right? Like, I would like to fix this right now with me and you, right? If we can fix this now, that's absolutely terrific. But it's important for me, right? For self-respect and important for me to feel good about the job that I'm doing, that it gets fixed. If it can't get fixed this way, then I have to go here, and then maybe this person can fix it for us. And then usually that's enough because, if somebody's trying to do something over on you, if they think that you're going to go above them to get it sorted, they'll probably just sort themselves out and then nobody has to get into trouble, right? But you just have to let them know that usually usually I find that works for me quite well, right? But everybody, Dave, did you just get here? Well, we got to stay for a few minutes for Dave. Yes, definitely. How is Dave doing? I have not seen you forever. And I know you watch my lives, right? So I'm so glad that you were able to make it in, Dave. Yes. See? And then, like I said, and when I go to, if I go to Toronto in May, I would like to, right? It all depends on where my life is going, right? I'm just playing it by ear, but I'm looking to ground now. So like I said, wherever I'm going, I'm going to commit to for a little while, just so I can get on top of things. I know what I want to do, keep up in my studies at the same time. And then, yeah, I think things are just going to flow nicely to me now that I have a good idea of where I'm going, and now that I've actually vocalized it, right? And I've committed to it, that things will start moving a lot better for me. And like I said, I'm just so pleased that yeah, it was really good today, spending that time with my sisters. It was good time, it was good time. It wasn't a lot of cranking at me and bringing me down and making me feel bad about myself. Like, it was really nice, just spending nice time together. So it went a whole lot better. I don't know if it's, I hate to say it, but yeah, I was really worried about it, going there. Like, I gave it quite a bit of thought. Like, I was just really worried, and I didn't have to worry about it all. I was just all a bunch of wasted time just worrying about that, right? You know, yeah, I didn't have to worry about it at all. I just stayed optimistic, and I stayed busy through the whole thing. And yeah, it turned out to be a wonderful time. But everybody, it is definitely, because we got to keep it 9 o'clock, right? Because otherwise, me, I could just yap on for another couple of hours. I just wanted to keep going for a couple of minutes, just because Dave got in here, and I haven't seen Dave for so long. But everybody, see you next Sunday, and yeah, have a great night, everybody. Bye bye.